Yo, yo, yo! What's happening, everyone? Hopefully, everyone can hear me well. Yeah. So, uh, glad to see you all. I don't really have a show planned in the traditional sense tonight. Just wanted to talk to everyone a little. Waiting for my production meeting at 10 o'clock here, setting up the 24-hour live stream tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. So, just so all of you know, 223, thanks for being here, man. My regular viewers, just so you know, I will probably be live at 7:30 a.m. Doing a little pre-show. What's up, the original? How's it going, man? Doing a little pre-show. Modus, what's up? So yeah, that'll probably be at 7:30. I'll do a little pre-show, and then the link's out there. You can find the link if you're watching on D Live or anything like that. It'll just be on this channel. If you're watching on YouTube, the event is already scheduled. In fact, let me get that for you. Something I should have had set up going into this, right? But I'll provide you the link to the actual live stream, the event coming up. So. Copy. Paste. So, new intel. Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. There'll be all sorts of shenanigans tomorrow. Voter intimidation. Or Tuesday. No doubt. So, yeah, terrible. So, yeah, I'll just give you, since my favorite supporters are in here already, I'll just give you a little behind the scenes of what's going on, because I think it's interesting and it illustrates, right, we did get an extra hour, Jeff, you're right. What's up, Paul? So let me, let's see. I'm also getting calls and stuff because I'm still trying to promote the show. So first off, thank you to anyone who put those links out and tried to use your own social media word of mouth to promote my show tomorrow. I really appreciate it. I don't know what sort of numbers I'll have. I could give you some people that we have as guests. We have Congressman Dan Muser. These are federal Congress. So this is your U.S. representatives. Dan Muser, Congressman Glenn Thompson. Glenn's going to be, he's my personal congressman. He will be with Trump all day tomorrow as Trump is fighting for the battleground state of Pennsylvania. And so I believe Glenn, I don't know if Glenn's, or Representative Thompson, who am I to call him Glenn? I don't know if he is doing Tucker Carlson's show or is going to be around Trump's team while someone does Tucker's show, but he's going to call in at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. That'll be after Tucker's show, so that'll be cool. I also have other guests that are just amazing. Ashley Sinclair from Sinclair Media, the producers and directors of the movie Unplanned and God Is Not Dead, two sort of Christian movies. It'll be interesting to talk to them about kind of the backlash they got from theaters in Hollywood putting out great films that are of conservative backing. We also have Wendy Bell. Wendy Bell, for those of you that aren't local here in Pennsylvania, she was one of our biggest conservative voices in media around here in this state, and she was let go by the Pittsburgh news station KDKA because she was kind of expressing her anger at a lot of the rioters under the name of peaceful protesting that was occurring in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. So she's fantastic, and we're really lucky to have her. She's going to be a friend of the show that's going to do the Pennsylvania Patriot Radio show on the weekends as well. And then we just have a litany of people like county commissioners, state reps in Pennsylvania that are Republicans. We have people that are working in the Republican Party at the state level. We have councilmen that are Republicans at the state level. So a lot of people at that level. And don't be confused. These local offices oftentimes are more important to your life than the national figures. So to get so many of those, I'm really honored because these are the people that are kind of shaping policy in your everyday life at the state and local level. So I'm honored to have those people as well. Then you'll also see some appearances from some regulars and some friends of the show like Sarah Courier. I believe my friend SJG Perspective is going to be joining on. And I haven't got confirmation from a lot of my other friends, but I think that they'll be joining. My campaign manager and one of my best friends, Tom Kennedy, I think will join me at some point. I still got to reach out to him. My wife should be joining me at some point. Then you also have my co-host, Todd Bartley, and Carlos Saldivia that will be joining as well. So it's a stacked lineup. Now, I want to talk about a couple things. This is real inside baseball. I don't know if you'll find this interesting or not, but I want to talk about what I'm good at and what I'm not. I think I'm a good content provider. I think that I'm intelligent. I think that I have a voice that I hope it's easy to understand. And I think that the most important thing is I'm authentic, which you get what you get. I'll criticize people on my side if I think it's worth it. It is who I am. I think another strong suit of mine is I'm easy to talk to people from different backgrounds of life because I respect everyone. If you're Ivy League, I could see your intelligence. If you dropped out of school in 9th grade and you're working on car engines, I could see your intelligence. And I think that that really helps me as an on-air person reach people. I will get some sleep, Sarah. It will be 24 hours, so I'll definitely need it. But having said all that, let me tell you what I'm really bad at. I'm bad at tech. I'm not good at getting a lot of these technical issues solved. So I'm a little nervous about the fact that I'm basically going to be producing the show right here out of my office. The reason for this is, I'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm bad at that. I'm bad at production. Like, I'm not good at contacting. Like, there are people that are just awesome that I have friendships with, like Sarah, who's on the chat right now, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out Sarah Corrier's channel, she is fantastic. Her show is amazing. She's one of my favorite channels out there and one of my favorite people to talk with when it comes to politics. I've done her show many times. She's came on our radio show. She's been on my personal show. I can't say enough good things about her. It's easy to reach out to her and be like, hey, you want to do a show tomorrow? That's one thing. That's not the production I'm talking about. But reaching out to people that maybe you have to go through their staff or that you have to have connections to reach you, I'm terrible at that. I'm a guy who makes next to nothing money, who's basically averaged making about $30,000 a year my entire life, that has no connections to anyone, who comes from a rural town in Pennsylvania and has basically never left the area. And so to try to get a forward, it's a strength of mine though, because I have a connection to people like that. I just happen to have an interest in politics, but the people that I look at and I associate with the most are people that have no connection to politics whatsoever. So it is a strength and it's something that makes me unique. But when it comes to trying to book a show like this, I don't know anything. I don't even know where to begin. I'm just tweeting people. I'm messaging people. I'm sending emails if I could find emails. I get no response. Carlos and Todd, my co-host on Pennsylvania Patriot Radio, they do have those connections and they are fantastic producers. And so it's thanks to them that I've been able to get most of these nationally renowned guests that I don't know, that I don't have connections to. However, I always want to try to be as ethical as possible. So I do have to make a few admissions here. There were 2 guests that I promoted on videos prior that I cannot now get confirmation of. One of them was Jack Posobiec from One America News Network. I was told by Carlos that he looked to be confirmed, but I don't know if it was a miscommunication or a scheduling conflict, but it looks like he still could be on, but we don't have an official confirmation. Another was a movie producer, director, and someone I think I love watching on Twitter, a big Trump supporter that you see on Twitter, Robbie Starbuck. Mr. Starbuck at about 10:30 this morning reached out and said, I'm in, can you do noon? And I immediately responded that I wasn't able to do noon. Could we do another time slot? And I haven't heard back from him since. Not saying he probably has a lot going on with people, getting close to the election. I understand people are busy. So I just want to say, just to be fully transparent, even though I said in my promo for this that he had confirmed, because I haven't heard from him since, I don't know that he will be confirmed. So if you were planning on watching only because Jack Posobiec or Robbie Starbuck was going to be on, I cannot guarantee they'll be on the show. I'm not saying they're not going to be. I just can't guarantee it. That's all I'm saying. So I want to be as transparent as possible. And I don't understand production. I'm not good at being a producer. So I don't know what the ethical, what the normalcy and the normal ethical understanding is. Like if you book someone for a show and then they end up not being able to come, was it unethical for you to have had a video saying, hey, so-and-so is going to be on the show? I don't know, but I swear to you, I'm not trying to mislead anyone or anything like that. So if some other people end up not showing, we have confirmations for all of those people that I've already said to you. So if something comes up, I assure you, I'm not trying to mislead people. That's just what I just wanted to give you a little of the behind the story on there. Now, how this show came to be, which maybe after the rally and after the election, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about regardless of who wins the election. But maybe I'll talk more at greater length how this show came to be later. But I guess I could talk about a little now. And kind of some things I don't know, that I just find unusual. So let me check here. Oh boy. Tech issues again. So yeah, anyways. Yeah, Trump has done 5 rallies today. So here's how the show came to be. I had said probably 8 months ago or so, I had said I wanted to do a 24-hour live stream. I mentioned it on my channel. And then when I talked to Carlos, who I do Pennsylvania Patriot Radio with, understand it's me, Carlos, and Todd. Todd actually works at a radio station, in our show off and on is an actual radio show, but he has the call signals, the tower, and everything like that. He has the studio where you could go in person, and that's where most of the people on his network record their show. The problem is there was some sort of conflict that originally the idea was we would do the 24-hour show there, and it was just going to be me, and Carlos would produce it, and that was it. It was just going to be me for 24 hours. The idea we had was to do it the week of the Republican National Convention. But due to COVID and due to a lot of other things that came into our life, we weren't able to put that together. And so this idea of a 24-hour show got put in the back burner. So I, being the big brain that I am, decided last week, my life's crazy right now. I'm having a kid in January, my first kid. I transitioned from jobs. I'm broke as a joke. I'm trying to pick up odd jobs to support my family. And I have the best wife in the world that's kind of sticking it out with me while I'm going through this, and still trying to do videos at a regular basis. And one of the things I said was, I need to do more going into this election. So the week coming up into the election, I wanted to make sure that I was putting out content every day. I started doing the show at 8 a.m. I was doing daily shows. I decided I'm going to do 6 hours of debates Friday, reaching out to people on the left, trying to get anyone I could on the left to understand why it might be a good idea to not vote for Biden and the Democratic Party. Hopefully vote for the Republicans, but certainly not vote for the Democrats and Biden. So I did that, and I said just a couple days ago, just kind of flippantly, you know what, screw it, I'll do a 24-hour show on Monday. How about that? I'll do it. I don't care. The day before the election. My idea for the show was, I'll be honest, I didn't talk to people like Sarah or Drone Tech or other people like that, but I assumed the show would basically be, I would reach out to them. It would basically be 20 hours of me and 4 hours of having guests like that would pop in and out, that I personally have relationships with, that I know are great content creators. But I didn't anticipate having any actual politician as a guest, any movie directors or producers as guests, anybody that's involved in the national media. I mean, Ashley Sinclair's joining us. Ashley Sinclair is one of the people that's in charge of Sinclair Media, which is the second biggest media conglomerate in the world. And I'm going to have, so I didn't anticipate having any guests like that. And Carlos, I reached out to him and he was like, yeah, I'll see if I can get you some guests. And now it's turned into a joint collaboration with Carlos and Todd. So it will be a mix of two types of shows. The first type of show, if you watch on Saturdays, the Pennsylvania Patriot Radio, if you watch on my show, where it's basically Carlos is kind of running the show. It's me, Carlos, and Todd. Todd's kind of doing the production, and he's on there talking as well. But it'll be a mix of that and of a show like this, where I'm just running it all myself. So parts of the day, it'll be more like that Saturday show where we're going to have guests. Most of our guests are going to be in 30-minute segments. I'm hoping during this production meeting with tonight that what we're going to talk about is we're going to try to stay out of the way. Ask our guests some quick questions and leave them talk for the 20 minutes, because the idea is to show you all of these people, why they're voting for Trump, what their biggest issue is, why they think it would be a disaster for Joe Biden or the Democrats to be in office. So it will look like that for a lot of the day. And a lot of the day, when I don't have guests, is going to look like me, and I'm going to be like, for the next hour, we're going to discuss why the Democrats are a disaster on socialism. And we'll talk about, it'll be me talking to you about that for an hour. And then maybe we'll go to COVID and lockdowns after that. Maybe we'll go to law enforcement and mobs after that. So there'll be a lot of that, particularly when you start to get into the late hours tomorrow night, when it's like 3, 4 a.m., when I'm certainly not going to have guests. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to be. So I just want to give everyone an idea of what the show might look like. Some of the fears I have. So just to let you know a little about me, I am totally confident to talk to anyone in the world about any issue in front of millions of people, and it wouldn't bother me. Everybody gets a little nervous, but I swear it wouldn't bother me. I'm confident in my ability to talk and to listen and to genuinely have good faith discussions with someone. Even if it's a topic that I don't know about, I'm confident that I'm not going to pretend that I know it. So I'll listen and I'll try to learn and I'll ask questions as a layman. So I don't mind talking to anyone. I'm not really nervous about that. What I am nervous about is because the way this show is breaking down, and it's my show, but it's in collaboration with Pennsylvania Patriot Radio. Understand, in PA Patriot Radio, I don't run the production. I usually just, what you see on my channel, I'm running. So I'm running OBS and I'm running the Zoom feed, but that's it. Everything else, like the guests, the screen sharing, putting up media and things like that, that's all Carlos and Todd. I'm basically on all of it tomorrow. So I am the only host that will be here the entire 24 hours. Obviously, I'll be getting up to grab a quick bite to eat, to get a drink, to let my dogs out, to use the restroom, things like that. But other than that, you'll see me for 24 hours. I'll be here, right? So I have to do that, plus run the production, and I'm a little nervous. It's not rocket science or anything like that, but any small technical issue, and it's like, I don't know. I hope I don't lose my head. So also, the power went out here today, so there's always a chance. We had a bad snowstorm. There's always a chance that I could have issues with that, which would be a disaster. So I'm hoping that's not the case. And, yeah, I think that, other than that, my only fear is this, that I have a lot of guests that are coming on and I'm not going to have a big audience. There's nothing I could do about it now. I don't know what it is about me. I just can't seem to draw an audience. I get 20, 30 people max. That's just what it is. I spent all day trying to promote this, making Facebook pages, reaching out to local media people, reaching out to the people that I invited and said, even if you can't do the show, will you promote it? Reaching out, constantly retweeting things on Twitter, putting things on Facebook, putting promo videos up on YouTube. I get like 10, 15 views, maybe 1, 2 retweets. So it is what it is. I tried my best. I'm not good at that stuff. I don't know how to sell myself. I don't know how to sell my show. I don't have the bells and whistles. I don't do the stuff that makes some of these shows so polished and amazing that you see. I just don't do it, and I don't have a big audience. I'm not whining about it. I don't care. I don't care if I'm only talking to one person. One of the things I love is it's my show. It's authentic. It is who I am. And because of that, I could say whatever I want. I could be critical of Trump when I want. I could be critical of Republicans. I could say whatever I want. It might just be a normal-sized audience. I might be talking to Congressman Glenn Thompson, who could literally be sitting next to Donald Trump, and I'm going to have 20 people watching. But that's okay. We'll roll with the punches. And there's an outside chance. I've reached out to Congressman Thompson, and he's going to put a bug in Trump's ear tomorrow. Hey, there's someone doing a 24-hour rally for you. Would you like to call in for 10 minutes? We'll see. I'm not even going to remotely say. I would put the chances of that at 1%, but it could happen. And it would be a shame if I, lowly Rob Knorr, on the Normal America show, get to talk to Donald Trump and I have like 20 people listening. But it is what it is. So I did my best with the promo. I also have a family life, and I had fun family stuff going on today. So I did what I could. I don't have Reddit, and again, that's another thing. I'm just not good. Yeah, and don't worry. And Bush, I really appreciate that. Bush 1900 says, I'll try to be here the whole time. Don't feel like you have to be here the whole time. Like, everybody has a life. Not many people have the luxury to have 24 hours where they could just sit around and watch someone. I'm lucky because my wife's awesome and because she's a great worker. And despite being pregnant, that I have this opportunity where I had 24 hours free where I could do it. But please, if you can't be here, if you have a different obligation, I'm not going to be upset. Join whenever you can. If you got 10 minutes to poke in, that'd be absolutely great. So, but yeah, I think that, I don't even know. I don't know if my posts are like, I messaged people on, 1 second. So, that it is what it is. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Jeff and Katz. We're going to look, this isn't. So let me next talk about why is this show occurring? What does it represent? What are we trying to do with it? The number one thing I'm trying to do, and please don't leave this, turn you off if you don't fit into this category. I live in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is probably the key state in this election. I am trying my best to drive out people to the polls in Pennsylvania. For Donald Trump, for the Republicans. And that's why I'm having so many people from Pennsylvania on. Politicians, even if it wouldn't have been them on. That's where I was going to, you'll hear a lot of, we're going to talk about energy policy, for example, right? And a lot of that will be geared towards what Biden and Kamala Harris want to do to the fracking industry and what that would do to Pennsylvania, right? And you might say, well, I live in Ohio, I live in Florida, what does Pennsylvania have to do with me? If you're a Trump supporter, if you're a Republican, trust me, Pennsylvania is incredibly important. And so the number one goal of this stream is to drive, if I drive 20 people to the polls, if I help them make a decision or give a sense of urgency that would make them go vote when they otherwise wouldn't have, I would call that an achievement, right? Second is very similar, to drive anyone anywhere to the polls to vote for Trump and the Republicans. So that's, most of the content will apply to every state. So drive them to the vote in Pennsylvania and drive them to vote in general. That's the number one goal, period, right? As such, I've told a lot of people, what's up, Dylan Burns 22, or TV says Trump 2020. I detect some sort of sarcasm there, Dylan. Dylan, by the way, if you're listening, man, I'm going to reach out to you later tonight after I do my production meeting. A lot of the time slots and like kind of the prime time slots have filled up, but if you're around like post 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. tomorrow, I would still love to have you on the show. So I'll reach out to you, Dylan, if you're listening. There are very few people that I'll have on the show that, because it is a Trump rally. On my normal show, I bring people on all the time that disagree with me. I don't have a problem with that. Because this is a Trump rally, almost all of the guests will be Trump supporters or Republicans. I am willing to make an exception for Dylan Burns. I think that you should really check out his channel. He is, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here saying Dylan is left-winger. I believe he's voting for Biden. But Dylan represents so much that I think he's even probably, I'd say he's a progressive, and I disagree with a lot of his progressive politics, but he represents so much that I think that we need to do going forward, hopefully after a Trump victory, such as he is one of the most fair moderators I've seen online. He is willing to bring together conservative and liberal voices to have conversations and does a good job of moderating them. I think he's been very helpful to me to try to get me some new viewers by allowing me on his channel. And one of the things that I have never really had a chance to talk to Dylan about, but that I see from his post and from watching his show sometimes that he's passionate about, is getting young people involved in politics. Now, I think that's very important. And that's something that we could come together on, regardless if you're on the left or right, the importance of trying to get more people engaged in politics. Now, I'm sure he, as someone who's on the left, would like them to vote left, and I would like them to vote right. But still, just the act of taking a civic duty and being civically minded about your country, being involved at the local level in politics, I think is a very important thing. So, also talk more about how great my wife is, says my wife in the chat there. Yes, you're great, Courtney. So yeah, check out Dylan Burns TV on Twitch. I think that it's hard for me to say it's an up and coming show. He's way bigger than me, but I think I see really good things, because when you see someone that's able to talk to people in good faith on the left and the right, I think that that's a really, really important thing. And I think that, his channel is going to grow by leaps and bounds. So please check that out. Yeah, no problem. Anytime, Dylan. So another person that might not be a Trump supporter that will be on my show was my campaign manager, Tom Kennedy. And I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure he's not voting for Trump. So, but other than that, almost everyone else will be a Trump supporter, just to let you know. But the truth of my life is I firmly believe I try not to leave politics interfere with my friendships. I have plenty of friends that are on the left, and, some of them are some of the most important to me in my life. So if I bring some people on, that might disagree with the theme of the show, I hope it just goes to illustrate that, we shouldn't leave politics, separate our personal relationships like that. My wife's mad I spent more time talking about how awesome Dylan is than how awesome she is. My wife is fantastic. She's going to work tomorrow. She's going to bring me coffee in the morning. She's going to call to check in on me. She's going to be a guest on the show, so I'll probably pull a chair up like there, and then she'll sit there, which will be pretty close. That might be violating social distance standards. I don't know what the regulation on that is. And then she's going to make me like some small dinner that I could basically eat off to the side while I'm still doing the show. And look, here's the thing. And I don't know if like Sarah's on here, was on the chat. Dylan's a streamer on here. It doesn't matter if you're on the right or the left. If you spend a lot of time streaming and you have family, it takes a toll on your family as well, because the time that I'm putting into this channel, or someone like Sarah, or someone like Dylan, or Drone Tech, SJG, Let's Be Frank, anyone like that's a small streamer. It's a lot of work to be a smaller streamer if you're doing all the production yourself, all of the talent yourself, coming up. It's talent as far as, I don't know how much talent I have, but talent as far as being the on-air personality. It takes a lot of time to do this stuff. Editing, like stuff like that. So, a lot of people, you see a streamer and you don't realize it takes a whole team of a family behind them that's sacrificing, allowing that person, to spend that time. So yeah, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, my wife's been tremendous with that. My wife let me spend, just to give you an idea about me, I've been poor my whole life. I will probably be poor my whole life. I don't care. As long as I have enough money for me, my wife, and my family, I'm totally cool. I'm not missing many meals, as you can see. I probably, since I decided to run for Congress in the special election in 2019, I would say that I've probably spent $8,000 on all sorts of things. Suits. I don't know if you can tell, I'm not the type of person that dresses up very often. Suits, going to dinners, buying cards, to hand out to people showing that I was running, having to pay for background checks into myself to be able to run for office, driving to events, going to $100 plate fundraisers and things like that. I've spent a ton of money. I have some great fans that have been generous to donate to me on my channel. And I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd say probably in my career on YouTube, D Live, Twitch, and Patreon, I've probably made close to $1,500. Which is incredibly generous that people have gave that money. But still, it's been a huge loss. My wife works 40 hours a week. She's pregnant now, and she's still working because we're so broke. She has allowed me to go out and do this, to spend this money, and I have got zero in my political career. I refused to take donations when I ran for office. I have not been given any paid work since I've been there. I do not get paid for the material that I do. So, I don't do ads. The only thing I do in lieu of ads is I sometimes mention to you, I sell life insurance. So if any of you are interested in life insurance, let me know. So there, I hope that's enough. That's all possible because of my wife and the sacrifice she made. Courtney, is that enough? Did I say enough good things about you? She's wonderful. You'll see her on the show tomorrow. She's fantastic. So, yeah, it is. And Dylan, Dylan says, work's taking a big part of my life. Working 6-7 days a week does not give me a lot of free time between board positions, political consulting work for political PACs, managing campaigns. Exactly. That's exactly right. I was volunteering for Trump's team, was offered a job with Trump's team, was making calls 3-4 hours a day. Plus, I'm going, I don't do it for whatever reason in my local county. I do way more in politics out in Williamsport, which is like a 2.5-hour drive for me. So I drive out to events there all the time. And it's tough. It's tough being away from your family. And it's going to get way harder with my first kid coming along the way. So, yeah, I think you guys will love my wife. Courtney's good. She says that's better. So I could move on. As soon as she's off, I'll tell you all the terrible things about her. So she's down. My office got booted upstairs because my baby took my downstairs office when baby Hank, when he gets here. So she's downstairs listening to me right now. So yeah, that's kind of what to look forward in the show. Now, I don't have a full list of the guests, but I've given you a lot of the people, that I think are nationally renowned. If you're local in Pennsylvania, I think you'll be pleased to hear a lot of people that maybe represent you in your district, and I think that'll be a great thing. I've also broken one of, not really a promise, but kind of a loose thing that I was doing, where I was not broadcasting on Facebook anymore, because I have a lot of friends and family that I have great relationships with that don't want to hear about politics anymore, and Facebook was kind of one of the places where they see me a lot. So I decided to not broadcast stuff on Facebook. However, I am doing this show and tomorrow's show on Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook and you're one of my left-leaning friends and you're like, God darn it, I thought Rob was done with the politics on Facebook. I apologize. 2 more days, please. So the child's name is going to be Hank Miller Knorr, will be my baby's name. So due on January 6th. So yeah, my production meeting's at 10, so I could go till probably about 10, a couple minutes before 10. But yeah, I think that it's going to be an exciting show. Like I said, it didn't get I wasn't able to promote it as much as I wanted. It came together fast. I had a couple friends ask like, well, why didn't you reach out to like the local newspapers more and do this more and do that more? I didn't even know that I was having guests of this caliber until yesterday. So it being the weekend, I've tried all Saturday night and all Sunday to kind of reach out. Friday, I didn't know anything about this. Friday, I was doing 6 hours of streams on Dylan's channel. I was doing debates. I didn't even know that this show was going to get that big that I'm doing Monday with as many guests. So by the time I saw these guests were here, I'm scrambling to try to promote it, but it didn't happen. Now, one of the things that I want to say is it's a little strange to me that no one thought to do this, particularly from the Pennsylvania Republican standpoint. I don't know why. Let me put it this way. There's probably going to be a lot of streamers that are doing things, and they'll have a lot of guests, particularly on Tuesday, I think, for the election. But there are one of the things I think that even Carlos and Todd are kind of shocked was the positive response we got from people that are running for local offices, and even some of these like Wendy Bell, a huge national media person who's has national renown and is involved in the media. She's willing to do the show. People from Sinclair Media, people that are movie producers, because these people, it's like, yes, there should be something like this. We see the rallies, particularly the Trump rallies. I'm biased, sorry, Dylan, but we see how huge the Trump rallies are, and those physical rallies are irreplaceable. The experience that you get there and what that is something that's amazing. My town that I live in right here, I live about 45 minutes away from Butler, Pennsylvania. 57,000 people estimated in Butler, Pennsylvania last night. It's middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Rural Pennsylvania. Probably 12,000 people live in that town. 57,000 showed up to the fairgrounds to watch Trump. That's amazing. However, you could see it with COVID, but you could see the writing on the wall before it. More and more people are learning to do things digitally. Why not have a digital rally? Why not do something like this? And it's amazing to me, and this is one of the things that I think this would be true of the Democratic Party as well. I don't know, but it's amazing that sometimes like me or Carlos or Todd will come up with stuff, and it's like none of the people that are paid to come up with this stuff came up with it. And it just seems odd to me. It's like, I guess I'm the only game in town. You would think that someone with way more viewers than me would be able to stream and say, I got all these guests, all these politicians that are running for office that you could vote for the next day are going to be on my show. But no, it's me, which don't get me wrong. I'm more than happy to fill that void, but it just seems odd. And I think that this is one of the, so I was talking about things that I want to do with the show. And that's another thing that I want to do with the show. I want to show that young people, not even just young, but independent streamers are a wave of the future of getting voices out there and connecting to different groups of people. And so we will be able to have me that's running this and Todd and Carlos, and then you'll have a sitting U.S. Congressman, Dan Muser. And then you'll have Sarah Courier, content provider that does shows with me. And then you'll have Ashley Sinclair from Sinclair Media. And then you have the producers of the movie Unplanned. And then you have SJG Perspective. And what this shows is that if we work together, the people that are the big names that maybe people recognize nationally and people that are smaller and that are still putting their heart and soul into this, that we could start to achieve positive change. So that's another thing. And I hope that everyone that joins me, particularly the content providers that join me, I hope that they have, that they're prepared to promote their own show and what they're doing. And I hope that it increases viewership there, even if I don't have many people watching. Aftershock. Yeah, I would love to talk to you at some point. I really do. So, yeah, thank you, Nighthawk. I appreciate it. And I get that, like, the election night show, I get that's a kind of a different beast. But the idea of having a digital rally, like, no one came up with having, like, an 8-hour rally for a candidate or a party. Everyone's probably not as insane as me to do a 24-hour rally, but, most people have a little more common sense than me. So, yeah, I got a Discord server. The link should be in the description, but I'll post it here for you now if you like. Another problem that I'm running in production wise is everybody wants to connect to you in a different way. So I prefer Zoom because you get the video. I don't mind things like StreamYards and other things like that. But for me personally, I use Zoom. I have a subscription to it, so that's what I personally use. But a lot of people want to call in. A lot of people are that are doing the call-ins are going to want to do Discord. So it'll be, I'll have to be aloof or, on my toes switching back and forth. So yeah, there's my Discord aftershock. So be happy to talk to you at some point. But that's my general Discord channel. Other things that I'd like to accomplish with this, I hope that it's fun and I hope that it's informative. But I hope that people could come on and we actually have fun. We could joke around and be entertaining at the same time while providing a platform to be a rally. I mean, what makes Trump Rally so great? Yeah, there's a lot of information passed, but it's also a lot of fun. And I hope that that could be replicated here, that, people are having a good time with it. I think that I have fun while I stream. I don't take it too seriously. So look, and one of the things about me, you could say it's amateurish. It is amateurish, but I will guarantee you at some point tomorrow, understand my wife goes to work. I got 2 baby dogs here. So they're going to be in the room with me. And sometimes they might decide to bark and jump on my lap and things like that. That's okay. We'll get through it. So, yeah, I'm definitely conservative. I would say that's fair to say. I ran as a Republican for Congress, so I would say I'm definitely conservative. And I'll be, again, this is a Trump and Republican rally. So now I understand conservative is not totally synonymous with Republican, but yeah, I would say I'm conservative. So yeah, those are the things I'm trying to do with the show. And again, there's still time left. I will post once more the link to the actual event on YouTube. But again, you could find it if you're on Twitch. The way it's different on YouTube. YouTube, every time you do a live stream, a different window pops up. So if you're watching this live stream on YouTube right now and I end it and start another live stream, you would have to end watching that video and go to another live stream, right? Twitch and D Live, I don't believe are like that, nor is Periscope or Facebook like that. It'll just pop up, I think. So what I'm doing here, if you're on one of those platforms, D Live, Twitch, something like that, you just come right to this channel and you'll be able to see it. If you're on YouTube, here is the link to the event. Am I planning on doing any streams for Election Day? No. I'll be sleeping during the morning of Election Day because I'll be going straight through 8 a.m. And then I will be going to vote with my wife. I plan on trying to connect locally to people and ask if anyone needs help being driven to the polls. And yes, before someone asks, if someone calls me and says, yeah, I need to be driven to the poll, but I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. Yes, I would still take them to the poll. But I am going to try to reach out to people and see if anyone needs help being driven somewhere, since I kind of have the ability to do that. And then I probably will be watching the results with my wife. And if I decide to do any streaming, my guess is that I would join one of my friends' streams if they would have me. So I don't know if SJG or Drone Tech or Sarah or someone like that will be having a show, but I'd probably join them. Maybe Dylan. I'd probably join someone like that. But I doubt I'll be doing my own stream Election Day. That's another reason that I wanted to do this before Election Day. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes that has other streams going on. So. Oh, you debated Destiny on the Trainwrecks podcast? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Destiny. I guess I get the appeal for certain people like the kind of the gaming community. And Destiny, I disagree with a lot of what he says. I was unimpressed with his performance in my debate of him. I think he just wants to shout conspiracy theorist, and he's unwilling to look at his own double standards. But having said that, I will say in my interactions with him behind the scenes, he's been nothing but a gentleman to me. So, that's all I have to say about him, I guess. So, yeah, I don't think his core audience is an audience that necessarily would transition to watching me. But I still like to show, that I am willing to reach out to that crowd. And if they want to just insult me, that's fine. I don't mind. No problem at all. So yeah. Yeah, SJG, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. He has confirmed to be on both SJG and Sarah have confirmed to be on the show. Others, like Let's Be Frank and Drone Tech, I haven't heard back from, but as tomorrow's going, I'll probably be on my phone too, trying to get guests like that. So I think that it'll pay off. Mike T says Trump winning crushed the Republican Party for years to come. No, I don't think that's true. we'll see what happens at this election. But I mean, that's fine. I think that if I was a Democrat that cared about things like the working party and things like that, or I was a pro-union Democrat, that I would be hoping for Joe Biden and the Democrats to get crushed, because all you're going to get is this corporatist globalists that have all of these radical progressive ideas that come forth until they're convincingly beaten back. If they're beaten in a large way, then maybe you could get some actual candidates in the Democratic Party that care about the working class. But it seems that Donald Trump has effectively changed the Republican Party into caring about the working class. But yeah, so I got like 15 more minutes. But yeah, it should be a good show. I don't know, like as far as predictions and stuff for the election, I'm still predicting that I do believe that because of corruption and other such things, that Trump will probably lose. I know that upsets a lot of my fans, but I don't know. There's something about me. I'm contrarian. When I think I'm an underdog, I fight harder. So maybe I've just convinced myself Trump will lose, which is why I'm doing a 24-hour live stream, which is why I'm debating for 6 hours at a time. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I didn't think Trump had a chance in 2016. Not because I didn't think his message was good. I did. I thought that probably more people agreed with his message in this country than not. But because I thought they'd just straight up steal the election from him. Because I believe that the establishment is that corrupt. I was wrong. They were unable to do so. I think that they've pulled out all the stops this time, including unprecedented violation of our rights, including intentionally collapsing the economy, including intentionally sending old people to die in nursing homes with COVID patients, including supporting riots, including weaponizing the media, including weaponizing the FBI, including having that same media that went after any allegation of Trump bury any story that's critical of Joe Biden. So, I mean, I don't know. I just see an unprecedented corrupt organization in the establishment going after Trump. And maybe my belief in that corruption's too, maybe they're not as powerful as I think, and Trump will be able to overcome that. Trafalgar Group, which is putting out a lot of the polls that a lot of Trump's people, a lot of the polls that you, if you're a Trump supporter, a lot of the polls that you've been saying, hey, check this out and retweeting, they come from the Trafalgar Group. They were one of the few pollsters that actually correctly predicted the 2016 election. The founder of Trafalgar Group says he thinks Trump needs to win Pennsylvania by 5 percentage points or that it'll be stolen from him. That's one of the most accurate pollsters from 2016. That's exactly the type of stuff I'm talking about. So don't get mad at me. I hope everyone that's like, you're stupid, Rob, you're wrong. I hope you're right. I'll be happy to come on and say I was wrong. Thank goodness. But what to expect to me, so I'm not the greatest when it comes to predicting that sort of thing. What will I do election night? Let me just say it right now. Let's say Trump loses and it's obvious that he lost, that it wasn't corrupt or anything like that. Here's what I'll do. I'll be highly disappointed. I would. I will still continue to point out the corruption of the FBI, the media, of Joe Biden. However, I will hope that I am proven wrong. I hope that a Biden-Harris administration, all of the horrible things that I foresee them doing, maybe I'll be wrong and they'll do things that are great for the country. And if that would be the case, I would say, great. I'm glad that I was wrong about that too. I don't see it happening, but that's what I'll hope for. I will not go riot in the streets. I will not go punch people that I disagree with. I won't force businesses to board up their businesses because I'm going to use violence because my candidate lost. I will do none of that. I will not refuse to talk to people that didn't vote the way I wanted. I won't do that. Even if someone I despise, like this current Democratic Party, wins the election, I will still cheer for them to do good for the average American person and for everyone in this country. That's what I'll do. If Trump wins, I'm not going to kid you, there will be some massive internal gloating that I will be doing. I'll be so happy. But I will try my best to contain myself and not pour salt in the wounds of a lot of people. I understand a lot of you deservedly will do that. That's fine. I'm not going to criticize you for it. But myself personally, I understand as someone who the only time in my life that the candidate I voted for a national office won was Donald Trump. I was a Ron Paul fan. I know what it's like to constantly lose. So I'm still interested in bringing people over to our side. I think they've been misled by a corrupt media, and I think there's room to say, look, we are the big tent party. We are the big tent ideals, and we're not going to just pour salt in our wound and treat you like you're our enemy. We understand, now there'll be people that are going nuts. There are going to be people that riot. For those people, they should go to prison for many, many years, as far as I'm concerned, if you're rioting because your candidate lost. That's fine, SJG. Teach our own, right? So, and then Aftershock says, do I believe we'll know who won on election night? No. That's the most likely scenario, that we won't know. I think it's funny, though, the media's out there. Their big story today is people connected to Trump say that if it appears as if Trump's winning, but there's going to have to be ballots counted for like more in Pennsylvania and other places like that, he's going to go ahead and declare victory. Oh, my goodness. So you don't think Biden would? If it looks like on election night that Biden won, but Trump's lawyers are like, wait a minute, we're going to need recounts. We're going to need to question this. We're going to need the lawyers to get involved. Do you think that the Biden team's going to be like, oh my goodness, you're right. Yes. We're not going to declare victory. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Once more, this is just the media gaslighting you. They've said over and over, maybe Trump won't accept the results of the election. Well, none of them have been willing to accept the results of the 2016 election. So just more shenanigans and garbage from them. So, it is what it is. It's like, in other big news, which I'm sure we'll talk about tomorrow, one of the things I want to focus heavily on is the corruption I see of too much socialism. Let me be quite clear. I understand we have a mixed economy. We do have some socialist policies like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, safety net type policies. Those are a form of socialism. They're taking our collective wealth and having social safety net programs. I think many of those could be cut in different ways. Not immediately. It would have to be a long-term phase out, because when we've promised people governmental money, it would be immoral and impractical for us to then rip that away from them. It would put them in a very bad position. But even still, I understand we need some sort of social safety net. But I'm overall more of a free market person. However, we should be critical of organizations, corporations, and such that consolidate too much power and are too much of a monopoly, and they should be forced to adhere at least to the laws we have on the books, and if not, be broken up. So that's my feelings on that. But a lot of what you see, I think, with sort of the extreme progressive wing of the Democratic Party that wants more socialism or Marxism, as you see people in Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and others suggest, is a disaster. Tonight, Kamala Harris was tweeting out messages, a video that talked about the difference between why we shouldn't want equality, we should want equity. This is one of the most dangerous ideas that you could imagine. Because what this says is you are immoral. You have an immoral country that needs to be fixed if everyone's not achieving at the exact same rate. What this does is punish people that work harder. It makes decisions that end up in all sorts. For example, let's just take it based on gender, right? So let's say equality would mean both men and women have the opportunity to be whatever they want in this country. And that is true. Equity would say firefighters need to be 50% men, 50% women. Equality says both men and women have opportunities to be firefighters. Kamala Harris is endorsing equity, that everything needs to be equal. And what happens is, as we see every time this experiment is tried, that you actually force people into roles that they otherwise wouldn't have wanted. If equity principles are also applied to things like wealth, that would mean that everyone gets the exact same amount of wealth. This drives down innovation and hard work, because what's your incentive? And the problem is so many people on the left view the world as this utopia, and it's just not true. People need an incentive to achieve. That's why competition is a good thing. It strives you to get better. Ask anyone that's been involved, like ask a high-tier athlete, ask a high-tier boxer. What drove them to be better? That there was someone else out there competing against them that was also trying to be the best. If everyone wins and everyone loses at the same time, then that drive's not there. This would collapse the economy. It would collapse the country. It'd be a disaster. Basically, Kamala Harris has dropped the bombshell of 2 days before the election, announcing to everyone that she basically believes in Marxist principles, which we already knew and were called liars for suggesting, but here she is, so. Thoughts on government's response to COVID worldwide? Disaster. It's being used to control the population. Never let a crisis go to waste, particularly what you see right now happening in the UK. It's absolutely disgusting the way they're locking down people. And again, the World Health Organization itself has said that lockdowns only provenly do one thing, and that's make poor people poorer. It says that lockdowns could be used on a temporary basis to make sure that hospitals aren't being overrun. That is not the case in the UK. They're locking down for over a month, until December, I believe. So it's garbage. So, all right. So last push here for tonight before you see me for 24/7, because I can't be streaming all night tonight and 24 hours tomorrow. Please, please, please. I'll put that link up one more time. Please, if you have any free time tonight, please push that video, push that link that I just put up there in the chat. If you can't see the link because you're on a platform where you can't see it, my YouTube channel is Normal America with Rob Noor. You could go there. If you're watching on Facebook, the Facebook page you're watching on right now, I will be streaming live on. I'll be on Twitch. I'm Normal America with Rob Noor on Twitch. I'm Periscope, which is through Twitter. It's at Noor, Noerr, Robert, Robert. So it's at Noerrrobert. That's where you can find me on Periscope. D Live, I'm Normal America, and on YouTube, I'm Normal America with Rob Noor. Please, please, if you could help me push this. You won't hear me grovel like this almost ever, but with guests of this caliber, I'm really hoping that I have a bigger audience. So hopefully that comes through. The last thing I'll say is this. There is a small chance that YouTube decides to censor me, particularly if I get a bigger audience, and pull my live stream as it's going. Please consider, if you're watching on YouTube right now, please consider following me on a platform like D Live or Twitch. Again, on D Live, I'm Normal America. On Twitch, I'm Normal America with Rob Noor. That's twitch.tv and D Live. That's spelled like it sounds. D, the letter, live, Live, .tv. So Normal America on D Live, Normal America with Rob Noor on Twitch. Follow me on one of those two platforms because I would not be surprised if I start doing well and we start having Republican Congress people on. Heck, there's even a very small outside chance that Trump calls in that YouTube wouldn't find that as reason enough to censor me. So if you see the stream get pulled down in the middle of the stream, that's what happened. And I would hate for a bunch of people to be watching on YouTube and say, oh, that was the end of the stream, when it really wasn't. The stream will be starting tomorrow, Monday, November 2nd at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'm on the East Coast, so it's going to be Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. It will run 24/7 uninterrupted till 8 a.m. Election Day, Tuesday, November 3rd, Eastern Time again. The only time I'll be leaving is for bodily functions, eating, leaving my dogs out. If something happens and I have a medical emergency or I fall asleep because it's 3 a.m. and no one's watching and I don't anticipate that though. I think I could go 24 hours. I will put other videos of mine that are pertinent to the election on live so that you can see them. But I think that I'll manage to go the full 24 hours. So there will be call-ins. You will be able to call in through either Google Voice or through Discord, which I'll be putting links up to my Discord. So you will be able to do that. If you want to call in, particularly, look, I got to be honest, I'm booked pretty tight throughout most of the day. But once we get later into the evening, once you get past 10, 11 p.m., I do have a couple guests lined up, but I'm going to be going, who's going to talk to me at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., right? I will be taking call-ins. I'll be debating people if they want, so you'll definitely have a chance to call in and be a participant yourself is right. So yes, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, whatever platform you're watching right here, please promote this. I would really appreciate it. If you know bigger streamers and if you want to reach out, like some of the names I've reached out to were, like I said, Robbie Starbuck. I reached out to Steven Crowder, Michael Tracy, Aaron Matei, Glenn Greenwald. I reached out to Tim Pool. I reached out to Joe Rogan. I reached out to Mike Cernovich. So I tried my best. I don't have connections to anyone, but I tried to just message them on Twitter, use my social media accounts to get attention out there. If you can get attached with any of those people and they're willing to promote my show, fantastic. If they want to come on, shoot me a message and let me know. My email is rob.noor@gmail.com. So if you have anything that you want to add or any suggestions, any help promoting anything like that, please let me know. I have not, like, see, a lot of these things, like Don't Walk Run Productions, I don't know them. Jeff, I think maybe you told me another channel that I forget to reach out to. The Quartering or something like that. I haven't reached out to them because I don't know them as well. So I got to be heading out here now so I could do my pre-production meeting with the fellows, Carlos and Todd. So we'll be getting stuff ready for tomorrow. So wish me luck. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And look, don't worry. I'm still going to be same old me. You'll see. So we'll have these guests on there. It'll be a mix of me, Carlos, and Todd asking questions. Again, I'm going to talk to Carlos and Todd about this. My idea when we have these guests, because we only have them for about 20, 25 minutes apiece, is to basically facilitate some questions and stay out of the way. Leave these impressive guests tell you why you should vote Republican and why you should vote for Donald Trump. So when we have the guest, I'm going to be trying to be as in the background as possible to leave them talk. And then when we don't have the guest, don't worry, I talk and talk and talk and talk. So I'll have some good stuff to say. So thank you, Aftershock, Jeff and Cash, Nash Trucker, Jim Beer, everyone else that's been on here, Sceneway, Free Thought, SJG, Sarah, Aaron Carter, Epic, of course, 223 that was on here, Modus, all of you, the original. Thank you to all of you that were on here and participating in the chat. Really appreciate it. I'm humbled that anyone would want to listen to me. I'm very excited about tomorrow's show. Please don't mock me too much if my dog jumps in my face during the show or if like the sound goes out. I'm really going to be counting on, my regular listeners to let me know if something like that's going on. Last thing is, WC, what's up, man? I still got that roll of toilet paper with your name on it. So how about that? The last thing is I might need help throughout the day with moderators. So if you're someone that would be interested in being a moderator, it might be something that I would need help with. So let me know if you're interested in being a moderator, because the thing is, I don't want you to moderate someone who's critical of me. I don't want that. But I also don't want people, like, especially on Twitch, I need moderators because I get people that are, they come on and they just want to curse and swear at me and drop racial slurs. And it's not going to be a good look when I have a congressman on and people are just, and just to let you know, when I have the guest on, I probably will not have the chat box up out of respect to that guest. But I would still be able to see the chat. But, so many people will try to troll me. I know how it goes. So, Aftershock here real quick. If you want to be a mod on Twitch, I trust you. Again, I ask anyone who wants to be a mod, what I ask of you is please, please, please don't have a fast trigger. If someone's like, hey, this fat moron speaking, don't ban them right away. You might want to say like, hey, Rob doesn't, I don't mind if you don't even have to say anything, but I don't mind people insulting me. But if it becomes spam or it's just clearly that they're trying to distract from the show, then maybe step in. And certainly I have no time of day for like obvious racial slurs and threats and things of that nature. So Aftershock, I will go ahead and make you a moderator if you don't mind, because I have some mods, but it's most of them don't show up. Let me see. Is anyone else willing to be a mod? I'll need at least one D Live mod, and then as far as YouTube mods, anyone that's going to be watching most of the day that would volunteer to be a mod on here? No, Nash. I think they're talking about me. Jim, can I ask you real quick on YouTube? You'll be here and you'll be fair-minded. You're not going to just kick people off if they disagree with me, and you'd be fair-minded about it. Only kick them off if they're being super vulgar or making threats. Let me see. Also, I'm such a novice with stuff. Oftentimes, I struggle with like stuff like this. Like, how do I make someone a mod? So, Pasty, you'd be a mod? Okay. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. So, yeah, let's mod you. And I might remove the moderator status after this big video because I don't need a lot of mods unless it's a situation where, there, Pasty, I added you as a mod as well. Let me see. Oh, if you're only going to be here part-time, that's fine, too. So, and is there anyone I got on D Live that would be willing to mod? Oh, excellent, WZ. Yeah, and I'll go over to D Live and I'll add you. If you're on D Live, I'll add you as a mod there. So, look, again, I don't need a lot of mods for my normal show. I normally got 20, 30 people. I could take care of it normally. But, with something like this, Pacey's going to do D Live, so There you go. Got you, man. So, all right, we look like we're good. And also, I could add mods tomorrow as the show's going if it's bigger and it's kind of getting more expansive and it seems like I need more mods. But don't be offended if I take the mod status away after tomorrow's show because, again, I purposely keep very few mods because I like to facilitate people arguing back and forth with me. I think it's some of my best shows when I got people on that are like, hey, fat ass, I'll debate you. I'm like, all right, let's go. Those are some of my best shows. So, all right, WZ, let me... Did I add you already as a mod, WZ? So, all right. I think we'll be good for now with what I got. Tomorrow I might add some more if I need. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Do got to run now. Got to get to this production meeting. But really, really, thank you so much to all of you. I think you guys are the best. Even the ones that disagree with me, thank you so much. Tomorrow's going to be an exciting show. Big opportunity for me, to kind of show a lot of people that people like us, regular people, it's not just an opportunity for me, mind you. It's an opportunity for all of us because the theme of this show, Normal America, people joke all the time, oh, you're normal, blah, blah, blah. I don't mean just conservatives, by the way. I don't mean just people that live in rural areas. I mean anyone, regardless of your religion, of your ethnicity, of your gender, your sexual preference. I don't even care. I don't care. But just people that are average Americans that I feel are losing their voice because these unelected bureaucrats are running the show in this country. And the truth is, even those of us that aren't heavily involved in politics, even those like people like me that you might call a redneck, or you might say, don't have a worldly experience, or, I'm not a wealthy person, I don't have these connections. Guess what? We matter. And we're smart, and we understand the issues, and we love this country, and we want what's best for this country. And I think that tomorrow is going to be a good opportunity to show that people like me and you, we care about this country, and we're fighting hard for it, even if we have disagreements. We do, and that we're every bit as important as everyone else. So, I hope that we drive out participation, hope that it helps Trump and the Republicans win in Pennsylvania. But I'm also excited to be able to show how a diverse cast of us can all achieve things and all have input into making this country great again. So thanks so much, everyone. You guys are the best. As always, have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow. Probably 7:30, I'll do a slight pre-show just to wake myself up. 8 o'clock, though, 24 hours 7. So, or why do I keep saying 24/7? It's not going to be 7 days, I assure you. Just 24 hours one day. So take it easy, everyone. Really appreciate you. Have a good one.